So Elisa, is what I hear you saying that if you look at this instructional design piece right here, what you really want your lesson to do is include questioning that supports the students in moving to higher levels of thinking, ensuring that all students have the ability to respond?
Yes.
Is that what you're looking at?
Absolutely.
And
Especially having all students, giving them that opportunity. It's not just a few, but all of them.
having them all do that and all go to this this level of thinking. So you talked about structuring your questions. I noticed you're really skilled at crafting questions, but is there anything that you think would assist you in making sure that those questions, the questions that you wanted to be asked, really got out there? Is there something that would help with that, so that you ensure that they took the students
that they really have to explain, fully explain and justify? I think, again, the structure I'm picturing for my students to be successful, I think I need to pre-writing some of those questions, because I know that when I'm just like this, that's the kind of questions I'm asking, the kind that just need a response like this. That if I can take thoughtful planning time to craft just a few questions instead of 8 or 10 of these, 3 or 4 of these, and then having some kind of partner structure, or doing the stand-up, hand-up, or doing any of the structures that I already have in place for other things I'm doing, put those in place here for the students to have, to respond to each other's questions, to answer the questions I've designed. That's really, I want them here. I want my students to develop rigorous questions to challenge the thinking of their peers. I'd love to really eventually, so I think if I start here and I model
I know what that
those
looks like.
questions and what the thinking process that's happening because of those kinds of questions, I'm hoping that that's going to springboard into the well-developed, where they are actually developing their own rigorous questions and responding to each other.
Have you found that Bloom's planning tool that has the question sims, have you found that to be helpful in helping you create those questions?
It's helpful. The problem is I have kind of just placed it here, and so now guess what? It's time to refocus, bring it back out, knowing where I want my students to go, and really crafting and using that more intentionally and purposefully in my planning process when I'm not just planning lessons, but the questions that go with those lessons.
And that'd be a great thing to bring when you plan with your team.
Absolutely.
Bring that tool.
It's a great idea.
Because I'm thinking you're not the only one
that's a great idea.
That's kind of fallen by the wayside. That would be very helpful to your whole team.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Last, we're going to talk about the academic discussion.
All right.
So take a little time to look at the rubric, look at what we're talking about in terms of academic discussion. Where did this lesson fall in terms of rigor when it came to this academic discussion?
I'm going to go with developed, and I really feel strongly that the students were engaged with their peers, and in those academic discussions there was some analysis going on with the photo, some analysis going on when we activated prior knowledge with the 2 truths and a tale, that really had to analyze and synthesize that information. And then just the close reading of the informational text today, I think, provided the content-driven topics.
Excellent. Great. So looking at the second bullet that says, students support their ideas with concrete explanations and evidence, paraphrasing as appropriate, and building on or challenging the ideas of others. How did you see that happening, those students building on and challenging each other's ideas?
I'm not sure I saw a lot of building on or challenging the ideas of others. that piece, I definitely think, I didn't see that. I didn't see that as much as
that's okay.
probably should for
It's,
this.
so knowing that that's a
Mhm,
piece, because I know you really wanna be solidly,
Yes.
you want your lesson to be solidly here and developed. So thinking of that, what would that take to teach the students to be able to do that, to, rather than just, sharing their ideas with each other, to really respond to each other
Yes.
and piggyback off each other's ideas and challenge those ideas? What would that take?
And so a couple of things I'm thinking. One, when I think about scaffolding that process to get them there, the whole concrete explanations and evidence, just teaching them and modeling for them the idea of evidence-backed claims or evidence-backed statements, because when we're having conversations, I want them to be academic conversations, and I don't want them drifting off into some other topic. And to get them here so that they're really supporting their ideas with with the concrete, the evidence, paraphrasing and building on others, then I'm picturing, even if I gave them a toolbox, so to speak, that just had maybe 3 appropriate sentence frames and 3 appropriate response frames.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you might, using a sentence frame, using that academic vocabulary as a learner, share with me, but now I don't just go, okay, I agree. My teacher's given me a toolbox, so I have response frames that I can kind of, ooh, this one works. I disagree with you because, and now I'm giving you evidence.
That's a great idea.
And that would support, and the more I think
Yes.
I do that with my students, the easier it will be for them to start naturally just having those conversations with each other.
Because then they'll know how to have them.
Right,
That's a great.
right.
Do you think when this begins to happen and you move forward, you move your lesson forward with questioning, do you think it'll be easier for this, the academic discussion to become more rigorous also?
I do.
As a question?
I do.
I do
Because it's
too.
just in the natural design of a rigorous question that's going to elicit a rigorous response.
I agree.
Absolutely.
So, thinking about the some of the ideas that you have for pushing this lesson and your future lessons forward in terms of rigor, you started out with giving this lesson a 7.
Right.
Putting any one of these things in place, or several of these things in place, where do you think that would have the potential of pushing that lesson in terms of your rating of that lesson? Where would that push that?
I think I don't ever want to give myself a 10. You know me better than that. Perfection is not something that I feel happens. We just continue to grow. So I'd give it a 9. I'd give it a 9. I just think if I can get those pieces in place, the academic conversation, the thinking processes that my students will be going through, just the level of learning that will occur through all of that coming together would be powerful, very powerful for my students. Yes.
Agreed. Well, I'm excited.
I am too.
As you do these things and as you move forward, what can I do to support you in this process?
Well, a couple things I was thinking about. One, is there any way that the rubric, we could have this like during our PLCs, so that we all could then be more intentional in our instructional design and then making sure it matches with the student tasks?
Absolutely, that's a great idea. I'm going to give this to you. What we know is you're the one that knows this now, and so take it and begin to use it, and we'll continue to roll out to you some support in using this. But yes, take it and use it as you have. It's a great idea.
And I really feel more equipped now that we've had this conversation, comfortable to even sharing it with my teammates.
Good.
And just just talking about how that focus on the students and what they're doing and how it can really grow us as a team. Not just my students, but all of our students. Yes,
Excellent.
I'd love to use this.
Excellent. We'll take it and use
Thanks.
it.
All right.
And
So do I get to go through the process again?
you know, anytime that you want me
Okay.
to come in and do this with you, and I would love to.
Awesome.
So
My students would love it.
Oh, that's
They
fun.
would love it.
I would
Yeah.
love to do that.
Awesome.
And just you know, keep me posted in
Okay.
how the products turn out. I'm anxious to
Yes.
see what the different things
I
you kids come
know, me
up
too.
with,
Now
so
that I've decided no just
open that
infographics,
up.
we're opening it
Open
up.
up.
Yeah.
Let me know. And
Okay,
can
I
do
will.
this.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Elizabeth.
All right.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.